contract renewal window has opened. We can try and renegotiate for a better deal with our current team, or approach someone else.
Hello, and welcome back to F1 22, and you join me at contract renewal time. Mid-season, of course.
Great.
And we need to decide what we're going to do.
Negotiations with us.
We're going to approach the current team, and we're going to go high risk. Give me the money. I deserve it. And they say, yes you do. Here you go. And so we re-sign for Alpine until the end of the season with a bunch of money because we're performing well. Look, that's third in the championship currently. Still in the fight, I would say. Pretty clear of Carlos Sainz. A decent way off Max Verstappen, but it's not over yet. We could turn this around as we head into the back half of the season. Austria is the current race today. Sprint round, of course. And we could head into Hungary, Belgium, Italy, Singapore, Japan, Mexico and Brazil and do very well. So the championship is still very much open. Chucking in some different components for practice. And as we head into practice, of course, only one practice session. And this happened.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
We gave our mechanics a lot of work to do to get us ready for qualifying in the afternoon. Look at this. We just come around the last corner and just a little slap of oversteer and into the wall we go. Lots of damage. Anyway, they turned it around. We didn't get very much practice in and it's quali time. Here we go. Like I said, not a lot of practice. It shows, I think. But let's see what we can do. I have faith that we can get a good lap out of this car. We go P2, 6/10 off Ocon though. All the way down to P7 at the end of the session. As we go for another run. Bit sloppy there. Again, I think that's lack of practice. We are improving, kind of. Just improving. Will it be enough though? I think so. I mean, we're in P8 currently. I can't see enough people improving that we don't make it into Q2. But we weren't feeling safe. So 2/10 up so far. We get into the final sector. 2 more corners to go, and they're challenging corners as well. Decent lap across the line. Only good enough for P7 though.
You're down to P14.
Yeah. That was 3 laps we had to do. And we managed to get ourselves up to 8th position, but we obviously used 2 sets of tyres for that, which is not ideal. Out of Q1 then, Yuki Tsunoda, Lance Stroll, Alex Albon, Robert Schwartzman and Nicolas Latifi. Usual suspects, I would say, nothing really surprising there. But as we head into Q2, what can we do? We've set a lap already, we're sat in 3rd. We're going again, just to be sure. And as we come to the final sector, 2/10, nearly 3/10 up now. Max Verstappen goes fastest with a 105.080. Carlos Sainz matches that exactly as we come across the line. Only a 10th gain now. Where does that put us? 5th? I mean, it's good enough to get us into to Q3. Here's the results then for Q2. Carlos Sainz matching Verstappen exactly. That was a surprise. Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes though, surprise exit. No Q3 for him. Fernando Alonso, Kevin Magnussen, Mick Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel also not making it through, but into Q3 we go. Currently in 10th, having not actually set a lap yet. And this happens. Big fat spin, and I think again that's just lack of practice. We didn't get any real running. We didn't get any running in the dry. And we barely got any running in the wet. So we made a right mess of that. We've got wing damage. We're going to head back to the garage. We should be able to get back out. And hopefully we can set a good time. Only one attempt at this. What can we do? Sloppy turn one. We decided to go out dead last. The track will be the most worn in, most rubbered in. Of course, we do risk yellow flags and stuff, but that's okay. It's not the worst lap so far. Could be better though. Target right now is Ocon up in P6. If we can beat our teammate with the weekend we've had so far, I'll be happy. No purple sectors at all actually, so we're certainly not going to be challenging for pole, but here we come then, across the line. It's going to be good enough. P8 only. Thankfully, we've got a sprint race this weekend, so we can hopefully make up some positions. So Carlos Sainz gets himself on pole position, marginally ahead of Max Verstappen. And Daniel Ricciardo showing up in that Ferrari. They've not had a really good season, to be honest, but up there, and Lando Norris in 4th place.
Welcome to today's sprint.
For us,
this is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Norris, Sergio Perez, and Ocon, Russell, Marshall, Leclerc, and Pierre Gasly, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Kevin Magnussen and Mick Schumacher, Vettel, Tsunoda, Lance Stroll and Alex Albon, Schwartzman and Nicolas Latifi. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Launch map is good, but we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
Alrighty, here we go then for the sprint round in Austria, starting from P8 only. Qualifying did not go so well. It's okay, we've got a chance for redemption here. We can make up some places, hopefully, and put ourselves in a better spot for the Grand Prix. As we line up onto the grid.
There, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
George Russell just ahead of us, and Ocon as well.
The sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch.
As we wait for the 5 red lights to go out, and we're underway for the sprint round in Austria. Strong start for Russell, already hustling Ocon up there, and Leclerc just goes right round the outside of us, but we're not having that. Straight back up the inside. Up front then, Carlos Sainz has made a very good getaway from Max Verstappen, but Max is already fighting, as you would expect. Daniel Ricciardo in P3, Sergio Perez in P4. We're going almost 3 abreast behind the leaders there, as Lando Norris tries to get his nose in. Ocon also having a little go at Lando Norris. We have made ourselves present in George Russell's life. We've just gone past him for P7, as Daniel Ricciardo is trying to defend against Sergio Perez. There's a bit of contact there, and up front Max Verstappen has got ahead of Carlos Sainz, so good chance he'll take the win here. But here we are, here we not are. Here's Lando Norris having a go at our teammate Esteban Ocon for P5. Sergio Perez sitting comfy in P3. And here are the two leaders as we head towards the end of lap 1. Carlos is not having this, is he? He wants that position back. Lando Norris goes up the inside on Esteban Ocon. Doesn't quite make it stick as they head through the final corner. We almost get ourselves tangled with Lando there as he goes a bit aggressive.
Brilliant, nice move, keep going.
Us up into P6 now in this sprint race after just 1 lap. We'll take that. Teammate next. Bit of ERS. And a heck load of straight line speed. And we are going to send one round the outside. 4 cars battling for position here. Daniel Ricciardo trying to have a go at Perez and Max Verstappen. What happened to Max Verstappen? He was in the lead just a minute ago. And he's dropped all the way down into P3. Can Ricciardo get him round the outside? It's risky round this corner, but he's going to have a go. Max just got the drive off that corner and off he goes to secure his P3. Look at this though. Daniel Ricciardo. Max Verstappen's got damage. He's coming into the pit lane. And Ricciardo slams into the back of him.
Caution, the virtual safety car's just been deployed due to build-up of debris on the track.
Is a VSC, but not only that, we just got absolutely robbed of our position there. Ocon stuck his nose in right as the VSC came out, and we had to give him the position. Not ideal.
Okay, VSC ending. We're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flag.
Here we go then, on the restart.
Green flag.
Can we get our teammate? Who's this up the inside? Round the outside of Ocon, little wheel banging. That's alright though. Because, are we going to get him? I don't know, we're getting a little bit boxed in with Ricciardo in front, but we've got him and we've got the speed to have a go at Ricciardo. I reckon Alpine's still there on the outside into the final 2 corners. What is this? Absolute send from Ocon.
A lot of spare energy. Okay to use your overtake button.
Daniel Ricciardo, of course, ton of damage from the incident with Max Verstappen, and they'll be starting from the back of the grid tomorrow. Max has already made his way up to P18. George Russell had a moment as well. He's down in P19. And here we see his teammate Lewis Hamilton absolutely send one round the outside of Lando Norris to get himself up into P5. And here we just overtook Esteban Ocon for P3. Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz quite a way up the road at this point. It says 6/10 there, but I don't believe it. You can see that we can't even see them around that corner. We've got a yellow flag up ahead, have we? We did have, but it seems to have been cleared. Back on board then. Carlos Sainz, 4.7 seconds the gap to Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz. We could close it, potentially, if they start fighting, which it looks like they are. Perez and Sainz swapping positions every other corner, it seems like, so this might play into our hands here, as Ocon is very, very close now. Is he going to send it up the inside? Yes, he is. Strong move there. We try to cut him back, but he doesn't go quite deep enough to warrant a move like that. Lando Norris got back past Lewis Hamilton now. He's having a decent race as he sticks his nose up the inside. We're going to hold that position and keep our P4 for now, at least, on lap 7. What can we do to get the front runners though? I don't think there's anything we can do now. We would need them to crash, I think, at this point for us to catch up. Bit of floor damage as we go straight over the sausage curb.
Okay, we think
and Lando is going to take advantage of that.
Too serious at the moment, just be careful.
Is he going to try and overtake into turn 1? He thinks about it. We close the door there. And now is our chance to have another go at Ocon. What can we do? Oh, we're backing off there. We don't want to get him here because we want the DRS run down to turn 4. So we'll big stack of oversteer there. We could have had a run.
Sainz has just moved into first place.
Has he? It says P2 on my screen. I think that means the 2 front runners, you can see if you look at the dot, it keeps going from blue to red, are fighting up ahead. It looks like Sergio though onto lap 9. Perez has got through and is pulling out a little bit of a lead now as we go past Esteban Ocon and into P3. That'll do nicely. Can we hold it this time? Hopefully no VSC shenanigans to ruin our place, ruin our day. I think we might be alright now. With 6-7 tenths to Ocon. Yellow flag up ahead. What's going on here? Looks like an Alfa Romeo is pulled over. possibly
gap ahead
Leclerc
is
could be
4.3
Schwartzman.
seconds.
We'll have to have a look at that after the race. Not a good day for Alfa Romeo though. Just a couple laps to go now. Perez comfortably, I would say. Oh, I was about to say comfortably in the lead, but it looks like Sainz is still challenging. But P3 is looking most likely for us if we don't lose the back end. That's going to invite Ocon to have a little go here. Deploying all of our ERS down into turn 4, but can we hold on to it? I don't know about this. He gets past us, we swap back, and we absolutely go for it late on the brakes. And that's going to invite Lando Norris to come through as well, so he's not going to be happy about that. As Lewis Hamilton goes up the inside. Is Ocon going to lose 3 places in 2 corners? Not for now, at least, but Hamilton is ready to pounce. He might have missed his opportunity there, to be honest, but we'll see. 2 DRS straights, of course, still remaining. 3 even still remaining on this lap. Mercedes has been pretty good this season, so can he get him into the final lap then? And here we are, on board with the front, well, off board, looking at the front runners. Sergio Perez is coming under pressure here from Carlos Sainz. He's going to have to keep this tidy if he wants to take the win. I'm sure he can. Red Bull will be hoping he can, with Max Verstappen all the way down in P13. Yes, Charles Leclerc was the Alfa Romeo. It's the DNF'd. That's unfortunate. We'll start from the back of the grid for tomorrow's race. A little bit of oversteer there for Perez as he comes to the last couple of corners. I think he's going to be comfortably taking this win. Carlos was right there the whole time. And here they come then across the line to complete the sprint race. Sergio Perez from Carlos Sainz and ourselves in P3. Not a bad result.
Great work, well done. We're really happy with the podium here, well done.
That was a fun little sprint race, I have to say. P8 all the way up to P3 for myself. And Sergio Perez taking the win then for the full 8 points. Carlos Sainz for Ferrari in second. Lando Norris in fourth. Esteban Ocon has suddenly found his pace and is up in P5 there, with Lewis Hamilton taking P6. In the championship then, this is what the sprint's done. Max Verstappen not scoring any points there, so that closes the gap for Sergio Perez and ourselves. And in the constructors, 101 points the difference between me and Max.
This is it then, race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. Not long to go before our drivers hurtle off the line and into the first turn, the Niki Lauda curve. It was renamed in 2019 in memory of one of Formula One's most beloved figures. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of around 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill of turn 3. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and Marshall completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Ocon, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Perez. They've taken a grid penalty. Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Vettel, and Mick Schumacher. Albon, Verstappen, Lance Stroll, and Schwartzman. Latifi, Ricciardo, Yuki Tsunoda, and George Russell. Gasly and Charles Leclerc completes today's grid order. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Launch map is good, but we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
Wow. P2 start for us then, front row, because, well, both the Red Bulls are out of position, really, aren't they? Max Verstappen obviously having an issue in the sprint race, and Sergio Perez has taken penalties. Quite a few grid penalties here at Austria. It's about that time where the AI starts to take their grid penalties. We've been sort of spreading our usage out across the season, so
Decent parking.
trying to be
Let's
clever
try and
with
get
it.
a good launch as the lights go out.
Parking ourselves in the direction
Keep
of
an eye on the
Carlos
lights.
Sainz here.
The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with a clutch.
What can we do in the Grand Prix then? Good sprint. We'll be hoping for another good result in this race as we wait patiently for those 5 red lights. And the Austrian Grand Prix is underway. Terrible start for me. Lando Norris goes past, Ocon goes past, Hamilton goes past, Perez goes past, Magnussen, Alonso. We're all the way down into P8. That's where we started the sprint. This is not what we wanted. Back up into P7. Carlos Sainz absolutely walking away with this race. Already 1.1 seconds the gap. Lando Norris into P2. Esteban Ocon into P3. We're up into P6. Somebody made contact there. Who was that? I think Kevin Magnussen got himself some damage. Is that the case? I can't quite tell. There was some debris flying around there. But yeah, terrible start for us. Here's Max Verstappen pushing Mick Schumacher down the straight, and he pulls out at the last minute. Both Red Bulls making moves there, but on both Haas. So synchronised overtaking from the Red Bulls there. Excellent stuff. Max Verstappen up into P9. Perez up into P7, just behind myself. Down in P6 after we started on the front row. An absolutely shocking start on board with Max Verstappen then. In P9, fighting Mick Schumacher. Schumacher's not wanting to give that position up, but he does have to concede the position. Are we going to get anyone into the pit lane on the first lap? It does look like it. Who's that? Kevin Magnussen, as I suspected, with some sort of wing damage. Not Kevin Magnussen. Who was it? Lewis Hamilton into the pit lane with some sort of damage on the first lap. Magnussen maybe was the one who made contact. I didn't quite see it, but anyway. Talking of Magnussen, we're going to make an overtake here under ERS. No DRS yet, of course. Not for the first 2 laps. We're going to try and go around the outside. We're going to get that move done pretty easily. Lovely stuff. Esteban Ocon in the top 3. That's not somewhere we've seen. I say easy, but he's coming back at us on the straight. Terrible exit for us. We're going to try and go around the outside. It hasn't quite worked out on this occasion. Where's the pace of that Aston Martin come from? I do not know. We will get past him, I'm sure, but we have to bide our time, maybe wait for the DRS as the front runners just absolutely gallop off. We've got some yellow flags in the background. That's a big gaggle of cars there as well. What's going on here? Safety car. The virtual safety car is out.
Caution, the virtual safety car has just been deployed due to build-up of debris on the track.
And once, not for the first time this weekend, the virtual safety car gets deployed before we get overtaken. And here's what happened, by the way. The Aston Martin of Lance Stroll yeeting himself into the car, turning into the pit lane. So, not ideal, but look, here's what happened. We slow down for the VSC. Sergio Perez pops himself through. I try to go back past because I'm like, well, that's my spot. And we get told to give it back by the FIA. So,
until we get the green flags. VSC ending. Wait for the green.
Not happy. Max Verstappen is out of the race. This is big for the championship. We could do with scoring big points here to try and close the gap. You can see on the mini-map, he just stopped. Looks like a mechanical failure, so no big crash. But he is out of the race. Sergio Perez going for a move on Kevin Magnussen into the final couple of corners. He's going to compromise him for us as well, hopefully, as we look to go down. We've got wing damage. That's not ideal. We're going to try and carry on, though. This seems to be hindering us too much as we keep ourselves in contention. Fernando Alonso right behind us as this fight goes on. We're going to try a double overtake here as we head into turn 3. We've got a caution, a yellow flag. We're getting caught amongst Sergio Perez, and we've been spun round. Sergio Perez has said, I'm not having that. Get out of my way. And the safety car is out. We've got a 5-second penalty. What a mess.
The new strategy available on the MFD.
What a mess. Here's a replay. We lock wheels with Perez, and then Perez locks wheels with Magnussen, and there's just nowhere to go. We get spun round. I think normally in that situation we could have got ourselves clear, but with 3 cars involved, we had no chance. It was game over. Kevin Magnussen just pushes Perez into her. Anyway, safety car's out, lap 4. We're going to come in for a pit stop because we've got damage, big damage. I mean, we had the wing damage. We're going to change the wing, change the tyres. We're going to chuck the hard tyres on and see if we can't push them for 31 laps. It's a ballsy move. It might not work. We might have to convert to a 2-stopper in this race. But
That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting.
it might work. You never know. All the way down to P17 then for us. Ricardo's out the session. I didn't quite see what happened there. But this race is turning into chaos as we get back underway. Schumacher, much better start than us. We got caught napping there a little bit, but yeah, we've got some work to do here. Of course, most people, especially the soft runners, are going to have to pit again. I think pretty much everybody in the field will be pitting again at some point. And if we can look after the tyres, we may not have to. We can hope. Trying to get past Mick Schumacher, didn't quite work out, but we're going to take it steady, he says, as we head down into turn 4, down the inside. Schumacher's soft tyres to our hard tyres. It should be no match, but our car just has way more pace than the Haas. As I say that, he's coming back at us because the soft tyres have fired up for him. And he gets past. Who's that going into the pit lane? Find out in a second. Magnussen. Kevin Magnussen into the pit lane. Not a good day for Aston Martin, I have to say. George Russell just up ahead in the Mercedes trying to make up some places, fighting with his teammate. What's going on here? We've got both Mercedes down in P12 and 13. Hamilton, of course, coming in on the first lap.
P15 now, that's P15.
We are carving our way through, though. Can we get past Vettel? We're certainly going to try, as the 2 Mercedes ahead are fighting, which works out very nicely for us, I have to say. Banging wheels there as well. Who's going to come out on top of this one? I want to put my money on Russell. He's properly being aggressive here, and he is up into P12, at least for now. Can he hold it into the next lap? Lewis Hamilton is not having none of it. One of them's got wing damage, and Hamilton's got himself some wing damage. So that's his race ruined. Toto will be furious. Russell now. Caught Williams. Williams of Latifi, and we're just following him through. And Latifi's putting up a decent battle here. Russell on the mediums, Latifi also on the mediums, but of course that Mercedes way quicker than the Williams. Anyway, join us on lap 13. We have cleared the Williams of Latifi, and now we're going to attempt to go past George Russell.
Try to keep up this momentum.
Into turn 1, round the outside. Jobs are good. Off we go then, on the hunt. We're now in the top 10. Schwartzman into the pit lane. Going to put us up into P4. As I said, everybody's pitting. We could, if we can manage this,
Okay, gap ahead is 7.8 seconds.
go to the end. Sainz up ahead. He hasn't pitted yet. Norris has pitted. Fresh hards compared to our 20% worn hards. It's going to be difficult as we head towards the end. We've got about half this race to go. And so, by my judgment, the tyres by the end of it will be around 50-60% worn. They'll be feeling horrible. Anyway, Lando Norris on fresher tyres is going to get the overtake done into turn 4, and that will demote us down into P3. But P3 from the back of the grid nearly is not bad if we can hold on to that. But of course, our teammate, as I mentioned earlier, found his pace recently and will be chasing us down. On to lap 22 though, Carlos Sainz has caught up with us. They were miles down the road, and he's going to be pushing me to get past. So, bit of defensive driving, and hopefully, a big snap of oversteer. The tyres, as you can see, the rear tyres especially, nearly 40% worn.
Push hard on the lap.
Our engineer saying, let's box. I'm saying, nah. we're not going to do that. We're going to try and go to the end. Ocon and Sainz now battling. That's going to help us immensely. Ocon and Norris. Gasly now having a little fight. That's also going to help us. If that lot can just keep each other occupied fighting, that works beautifully. Look at the gap we're starting to pull out now. As Esteban Ocon flies past Sainz. Sainz is holding it round the outside, but Ocon looks like he might come out on top of this one. And he does. Esteban Ocon onto the podium. It's not a bad result for him. He's been struggling a bit early on in the season, and especially in season 1 he was nowhere, but it's nice. We've now got I would say a championship contending car. It's not the best on the grid right now, but it's pretty damn close. Speaking of Ocon, there he goes. We let him through. We're going to try and get DRS, essentially. We're going to try and get him to drag us along because our tyres, well, they've had enough at this point, let's face it. We should, in an ideal world, be considering swapping them, but we really want that track position. So if we can get Ocon to drag us along, hopefully keep us ahead of Perez and Gasly behind, we could score some real good points here and maybe even get a podium. As it currently stands, that would be great. Norris is romping off with the win. 12 seconds up the road now. There's nothing we can do about that, but good result for him. As we just try to keep nice and close to Ocon. Still got DRS, that's always good news. He is doing his job. We wanted him to just pull us along, and he is doing that, but Perez is closing in now, so we should start to be a bit worried about that, I think. And on to the final lap of the Grand Prix then. Perez, 3/10 behind us. We knew he'd arrive at some point, and the time has come. Oh, big slide almost out of there, a bit late on the DRS, and Perez is going to be thinking about doing a move there. We go super defensive into 4, and for now, we've kept the position. That may well have been his last opportunity, unless he can get really close going into the final couple of corners. I think we've got him. Ocon, though, is...
Come on, we need to get past.
Yeah, we're not getting past, mate. It's not happening. Ocon is sliding around all over the place, but he's well clear of us. So, looks like, Lando Norris wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Ocon's going to come home for P2, and we're going to come around the final corner and across the line for a solid P3, especially given what happened earlier in the race.
Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a strong drive and a great finish. Well done.
A fantastic team effort then to secure victory here in the Styrian Alps. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on that top step of the podium.
Well, that was a fun race weekend, wasn't it? Started in P8 in the sprint on Saturday. Started in P2 on the Sunday. Quickly dropped back to P8 at the start. We got an awful start. And then the shenanigans were spun round by Perez. We had the VSC incident when Perez overtook us. It was a mad one, but it was fun. Norris wins the Grand Prix. Just an overall good race weekend, I would say. Solid points for Norris over the weekend. 30 points in total. 22 points total for Ocon and 21 for ourselves. Max Verstappen, though, where was he? He retired. That's where. Daniel Ricciardo also retired. Lance Stroll as well. So quite a few retirements from the race. Not a good weekend for Red Bull. And of course, that does spice up the championship. 18 points now to Max is the gap. Sergio Perez, 5 points away. Even within Red Bull, this battle is getting pretty juicy. Esteban Ocon in 4th place, gaining a lot of points. This could be a spicy little fight to the end of the season, I reckon. Hungary up next. Not a track that I'm particularly strong at as we watch my woeful start of the Grand Prix. But it's one I want to get better at. So we're going to head there for the next round. So if you did like this video, give us a little like. Drop us a little comment below. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Bye.